In early spring 2021, three friends and I attempted the Arizona Backcountry Discovery Route. This 750-mile dirt route starts in southern Arizona at the Mexico border and then runs north through Arizona all the way to the Utah border. It's 9 sections long, and our goal was to complete it in just 4 days, even if we had to break a few rules in the process. This is our story. Today's ride was going to be 228 miles long, and it included 2 expert sections, which, as you know, I was a little bit concerned about.
Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing lovely. How are you?
Yeah.
Thank you for spooning with me last night. I truly enjoyed it.
You've got me
help me go to
confused.
sleep.
You have me confused with your buddy John Smiley. All right, what about the route today?
Well, if you look at the route, there's a lot of highway, but then I had to add the alternate, the Pioneer Pass. That looks like a lot of sand. I mean, it's sand and rocks. And
I signed up for sand and rocks. I've been disappointed.
So we got to do Pioneer Pass?
I'm in.
It's not an option?
You in?
I'm in. So what do people think about your new Garmin, Richard?
You know, on the internet, people complaining about it, saying it redraws too slow, or it's not bright enough, or this, that, and the other. But I like it.
That's the problem with the internet is there's people on it.
No truer statement ever said. So I don't think I ever told you this, John, but I started going to a therapist. And the first time I go, meet with her, she's like, "Why are you here today?" I said, I have this crazy fear of tsunamis. I mean, it's just out of control. And she's like, "Really? Well, how bad is it?" I'm like, "Well, it comes in waves."
It was a beautiful day. It's about 60 degrees, the sun was out, and we were eager to get back onto the BDR. Packed our bags, waved goodbye to San Manuel, headed east, and then turned north onto the BDR. Time to ride. It was an easy gravel road all the way up to Mammoth.
Just crazy country. How pretty this is. Beautiful, just a simple dirt road, but goes in all this gorgeous country.
In Mammoth, we crossed over Highway 77 and took a dirt road paralleling 77, riding it north. Man, this was a great road. Not well traveled at all, very rocky, just a little bit of sand, lots of brush hanging over, onto the track. Just really, really fun and enjoyable riding. Back on pavement just south of Hayden, we ran Highway 77 north for several miles as it paralleled the Gila River and ran through some beautiful, beautiful valleys. A little while later, we came to the turnoff to the first expert section. This is the part I was a little worried about. I didn't know how hard the expert sections would be and if I would be up to the challenge. My 3 riding buddies are all very skilled, certainly more skilled than I am. I wasn't sure I would be able to get through and didn't want to disappoint them. It started off easy enough. Basically Class 2 gravel road, no big deal. Really, really enjoyable riding. But shortly after that, we turned north and started climbing up toward Pioneer Pass. The further we climbed, the more difficult the terrain became. However, I will say that it never got so difficult that I felt like I was over my head. Yeah, there were some steep, rocky sections, both uphill and downhill, and I was glad I was on the 690 rather than riding my very large Honda Africa Twin. I think I'd really want to take the big bike over some of this stuff. But the smaller bike, my skill level, turned out to be fine. Really enjoyed it. Again, I didn't feel like I was over my head, so it was fun riding, and it would alternate between hard sections and easier sections back and forth. Not surprising, the views were excellent, so we stopped often and took pictures. Also, there's a lot of other dirt roads out here. There was some signage for it. You could spend some time out here riding, exploring further. This is an example of some of the steep stuff that we were riding. You can see it's not super hard, but it is steep and you got to be on your toes. One of the other things I enjoyed, which reminded me of Mexico, is you'd be on one side of a mountain and it would be desert-like, and then you cross over and then there's trees, you're in a forest. And you kind of hop back and forth between the two. Pretty interesting. After crossing Pioneer Pass, we jumped back on pavement and enjoyed a spirited ride down a twisty mountain road all the way to the town of Globe, Arizona. Like many other places in Arizona, Globe is a mining town with a big old copper mine just outside the town limits. We had an enjoyable brunch at Judy's Cookhouse. A little bit more pavement after lunch, and then we were back on dirt, headed north. Again, more great riding. Interestingly enough, even though it's the desert, there were actually several water crossings. In the desert, green means there's water there. After about an hour or so of great riding, we made the left turn to take the expert section up to Young, Arizona. The government was kind enough to let us know that this was a primitive road and not regularly maintained. Having successfully completed the earlier expert section, I was a little less worried about this one, figuring it would be about the same level of difficulty. Turned out I was right. The riding was well within my capability, and we had a great time riding the expert section all the way into Young. The views were just excellent. I highly recommend, if you're on a small bike or if you have good skills and you're on a big bike, that you take the expert sections between Mammoth and Young. It wasn't all difficult. We'd alternate between a hard section and an easier section like you see here. Just really enjoyable. I'm not sure why they called it an expert section. There were other things we did not expert section that I thought were harder, but I guess overall because of the sustained nature of it, that's what made it an expert section. In any case, when you come this way, I do recommend trying this route if your skill set and your bike are up to the challenge. Once we completed the expert section, we rode pavement into Young for gas and a snack. From Young, we ran Class 1 gravel north up to Highway 260 and ran that east to go to Heber Overguard. Notice the snow. It's going to play a role later on. We arrived at the Best Western here in Heber Overguard, and I found the Motherlode, Off-Road Arizona and Ride Arizona magazines. Got a great room tonight at the Best Western in Heber Overguard, Arizona. It's gonna be nice. The gal that checked us in at the Best Western recommended the Wild Woman Saloon and Grill. So, we're gonna give it a shot. Go ahead, what were you saying?
I was saying, compared to today's uphill, I think the only thing I've ever really ridden that would be more longer, is that a much shorter distance because you're going single track, much slower, but the duration, we Kennedy Meadows up in the Sierra Nevada mountains.
Arizona. Spicy Italian, pepperoni, 2 pizzas, $22. We also got some wings. Nice.
I'm happy.
Pizza, wings, and beer were the order for the evening. Then we took a commemorative photo and headed back to the hotel with a quick stop at a gas station so we could gas up for tomorrow's exciting ride. today it's 5 minutes late. It's so much harder than yesterday. So yesterday we did 201 miles. We left at 10. And we were done by 3:30. And there were a few Class 2 sections on yesterday's route. It was a lot of fun. It's very interesting, but nothing real technical, nothing real hard. But today, which was a shorter day in terms of total distance, but the dirt was so much harder. So we left out of San Manuel and went to Mammoth, which was easy dirt, no big deal. But then from Mammoth going up to Globe, we did that section, and there's an expert bypass, and we had decided that we were going to try all of the expert bypasses, and so we took the expert bypass, and I was not worried about the other three guys. They're all very talented, very skilled. I'm definitely the least skilled guy in this group, and I was concerned if I would be able to handle the expert section, and I was able to. I'm on my KTM 690. It was fine. Wasn't all that hard. It was just Class 2 and Class 3 sustained for a long time. A lot of fun, and so made it through that. We made it to Globe, had some lunch, and then this afternoon we're coming up, and there's another expert section that you take to Young, and we did that, and that expert section was like an hour long of just rocks and climbing, and you not going very fast, and so it was tremendously enjoyable to ride. Not super technical. I wouldn't do it on a big bike. I wouldn't do it on my Africa Twin, but it was a lot of fun on my 690. Mike's riding the big bike, the biggest bike. He's on a KTM 1090. He's a very talented rider, so he did great. We were able to get through all that stuff. It just took a really long time. And today's route was originally like 175 miles, but where we were supposed to end, there's no hotel. There was a hotel, but there's no restaurants or gas stations or anything like that. They're all closed for the winter. And so we deviated by going 20 miles east to Heber Overgaard, and which added some time to the route. So we left at 8:04 this morning. We left early, like an hour earlier today, and we didn't get here. We're at the Best Western, and we didn't get here until it's probably 5:30. So 9.5 hours on the bike, and with a stop for lunch, I'd say we rode 7.5, maybe 8 hours today, actual riding, maybe 2 hours stop time. And we didn't average the speed that we did yesterday. So a lot of fun, but boy, this section, if you're doing it and you're planning on doing the expert sections, I would say opt for a shorter day, because man, I'm really glad that we got started early. And as soon as we got here, we checked into the Best Western, and then I said, hey, before we unpack or anything, let's go grab something to eat. We're 7,000 feet in elevation. There's snow on the ground. It's cold. Let's go eat, come back, and then we'll shower and clean up and do all the stuff that we're going to do this evening. So great day 2, very long. Guys are all tired, just like I am. Wonderful riding. Boy, I can see why they call this. They say it's the 3rd hardest BDR. Certainly a lot more technical riding than the New Mexico BDR, which we did last year. So, and then tomorrow we'll end up in Flagstaff. We have a fairly short day, 180 miles, 185 miles. The first 28 of it is pavement, getting back to the BDR. But just the BDR section, it's like 157 miles. But the thing about it is that we're 7,000 feet in elevation, and we're going to stay at elevation all day long. We're expecting 32 degrees in the morning, so it's going to be brisk. We've seen snow today, but none of it's on the road, so we're hoping that whatever snow is out there, the roads are open and we can get through. So we'll find out. So anyway, that's my day 2 diary.
What's the question?
Tell me about the day. What'd you think?
It was the best riding day by far. Made me glad
Riding day by far compared, like, ever, or just compared to yesterday?
Actually, it may be ever for me. I don't have too many dirt bike travel adventures to compare it against.
What was your favorite part of the day?
The technical stuff, where the 500 gave me an advantage over the much bigger bikes. It was the fun zone for that bike.
Buying that bike was a good choice then?
Today it was.
Ask you again on Friday after doing 300 miles of pavement. See how you feel?
300 miles of pavement with no cruise control and no paddle.
All right, very cool. Thank you.
You can lean back.
Well, I met these guys on the trail, and they gave me lots of tequila. I can't wait to use this lube, and we're going to have a good time tonight.
Is that Astro?
You know, he said that sitting right next to you, John. John, did you have a different idea about how the
I had a
evening
little
was?
different take on the day. Yes. It's the first time I've ridden in southern
This take on the
Arizona,
evening's
and,
getting worse.
What was your favorite part of the day, John?
my favorite part of the day was just the scenery. I've never really ridden in southern Arizona before, and I thought it was fantastic. And great companionship, fantastic ride, and it's been an unbelievable trip so far.
Okay, so we left San Manuel, and went through Globe and then Young, and now we're here at Heber Overgard. What advice would you give to others that are coming through there? What would you tell them?
I would advise you to be prepared for just about every type of terrain. I've been riding dirt bikes for quite a few years now, and there was some challenging stuff, and there was also just some amazingly fun, flowy, almost like single track riding, and I think that it was just an all-around perfect ride today.
What about the expert sections? Would you advise the average guy to take a big adventure bike down those expert sections?
No, I would not.
They were too tough, too long, too sustained for a big bike.
Yeah, unless you ride a big bike all the time and have ridden a big bike.
Yeah. How about you, Mike? What do you think?
Well, being a big man,
He's had too much tequila.
I think it is a little too much tequila.
Real quick. No, I had fun. I had my 1090. Definitely on the edge of what you want to do to a big bike. If you love your bike and it's, a BMW or something like that, we got warnings going on.
Keep going.
Anyway,
what happened there?
No, I mean, it's big bike okay, but you're going to beat your bike up. It is doable by any means. If you go with a slower group of riders, piece of cake. No, not a piece of cake, but you can do it. These guys are all fast. They kept up a fast pace. The mighty 1090 had to play catch up and keep up, and I sacrificed a few spoke nipples to it, but we're okay.
All right.
I'm just full of shit tonight, aren't I?
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Look at all that snow. There's snow everywhere. Road closed. Denied.